Alrighty guys, the most important video for the bulls to start this week off on the memory and the chip stocks. And this is it. And this will be it because we are getting at a critical juncture in the price action. This is Micron. I'm just showing you as an example to present my message. Why so? Because memory has seen a big decline, and right now you are seeing a lot of negativity. All right, and yes, I called out the break of the structure as well, $1,100. I wasn't a bullish player up here. Okay, similarly on Sandisk, I wasn't bullish up here. This is where, if you have been following my videos, I was telling you get out. We gonna fall, structure is breaking, price action is breaking, heading downstairs. Okay, but I am not biased in the market. I see the market for what it is. If it's bearish, I'm gonna trade market bearish. If it's bottoming, I'm gonna prepare myself for a potential bottom. And then, as if market is bullish, I will be a bullish trader. Okay, I see the market as for what it is. I don't clutter my opinions based off of what a bias is. Okay, that's where you have to get to if you are a trader. Okay, I'm not perfect, but I try to get better every day in the market. Now, the point and the things that I want to talk about in this video, not just the price action, but also give you some highlights of what memory used to be and what it is going to be going forward. Okay, definitely all of this is just my opinion. None of this is any financial advice. Please do what you feel like doing in your portfolio. All right, so with that, let's jump right into it. So let's start off with Micron. All right, so we have been declining. That's okay, and this is where I have been talking about we have a most likely a potential bottom formation start. Okay, now it's just not that I'm seeing Micron and yeah, oh, it's Micron, it's possibly a bottom, look at it, we such a good candle. No, not just that. Many things are playing out, and especially as we'll go through in this video, we'll take a look at Kospi, SK Hynix and Samsung on Korean market. And later how they will open today, I will do a video for the Kospi as well, because it's important to follow through on Kospi today. All right, so having said that, right, we did push quite strong. You all know about, and you should know by now if you don't, that is situational awareness fund blowing up, or Citadel, acquiring it or acquiring its asset, right? That possibly would have also added the sell-off and a turnaround, like there's a fear in the big players at that time, and then there's a relief. So over exaggeration on either side. However, what all of that does in the market is also affect algorithms and also affect other traders' way of trading. Okay, so for example, we regained 830 on Thursday, right? And then on Friday, we went all the way pretty much in the pre-market to the next significant level at almost, what is it, 940 area, and then gave up all of it. Now the point is that, let's get to the 5 minutes interval. Now the point is that definitely if you have my tools, you can do day trade, swing trade, multi-day, whatever you like. This was a clear-cut short play here, right? My easy day and swing trading tool, which you can use on daily, multi-day, swing trade as well. I'm just going to show you real quickly on the daily interval. No doubt this was a short play here below the cloud, full red. There's a little bit of a rebound here, but that's just the rebound. But my tool will tell you everything, right? Anyways, that's not the point here. But definitely if you want them, you can check out the details in the description of this video. So what happened on Friday is just how a day trader would play. And so the sell-off that you are seeing, once the sell-off happens, okay, once a direction is picked for a day, every trader for the day trading side is basically trading a short play. So sometimes these type of a sell-off for a day is not necessarily a bigger problem. It's just for a day because price action started bearish, and thus every other trader that came out that day was shorting it. It did try to stabilize at a zone of importance. All right. However, we did close in the weakness, but as you see the prior day, we had a huge non-stop extension from down here on Micron 785 and just unstoppable extension. So when this happens, there's always a retracement as well, some partial profits taking, and also some missed orders or big players who want to get in, they grab that, prices. But the point is that also options on Friday, market makers, it's in their interest to not be losing. All right, it's all about market makers. Okay, it's not, and in big institutions, okay, you may think, oh, it's about you. No, it's not about you. Market makers and institutions want to get ahead. All right, that comes first. Now, so having said all of that, yes, we did see a Friday give up gains, but this doesn't mean that we are already becoming like bearish. I gave you a level and a zone on Friday. Let's get to the hourly interval. I mentioned that either we stay up here, 830 area, and or if we come down, we don't want to lose 772 and 780. And pretty much at this point, as if weakness continues, you want to see this area hold. That's a very important part, as if we continue lower. And then as if we do that and come back, regain 830, that's where we do have a second stage of bottom confirmation. Right? What are these stages, you may ask, right? Like, oh, well, what's first stage, second stage? How many stages are there? There is nothing written in the rule book. Okay, there is no rule book in the stock market. It's understanding the price action. But the point is that the more retest stabilizes down here, and especially in this volatility, the more retests are expected, because we are also in the middle of nowhere. All right, so what we want to see is Micron coming back. Even if it comes down to 774 and does a snap back above 830, that's already enough starting point for bulls to pick it up. Okay, from there, just as I told you, the algorithms and all, if Friday is selling off, every day trader on the Friday would be looking bearish, and that sometimes also extremely pushes the price down. And on Friday, usually new buyers would not like to step in and all of that, which also creates more selling pressure, then options expiring and all. All right, so all of that stuff. All right, so but what needs to happen from the starting of the week is this is what you have to look for. So even though we did see a sell-off, yes, there's some lingering weakness right now, but Micron, and as we'll take a look at other chip stocks and memory stocks, can save itself. It all comes down to 770, 778, 779 area, right? 770. I mean, it's a ballpark. It's a range. If we lose that, 737 is a possibility. Now, here's the thing. Yes, if we continue, we can go like that, right? Sure, right? Because even on Friday and prior to that Thursday, I told you this is just an early sign of a potential bottom, and you will have to take it as a part of a rebound overall though. But that's what we want to see going forward, is stabilization here, right? But why am I even looking at the possible stabilizations, right? Like you could be like, well, why even you want to get ahead of the price action a little bit here, give it some more time? And the answer is Kospi. Kospi, yes, US market didn't look that strong on Friday, but Kospi has already, I mean, yes, I could be wrong, but right now I'm 80% what I'm seeing is that probability is that Kospi has a bottom, 5,000 area. All right, Kospi most likely has a bottom. Yes, I could be wrong, and risk management is important. That's the whole point. Where the probability is and managing the other side. But that's the thing is that, yes, and it's still the early sign. It's still the early sign. We may still do some retests here, but this is what you usually see at an important areas of a potential bottoms. Kospi looking really strong. 6,000 above as it stays, it can start to turn around its direction. Most likely this is the bottom on Kospi. SK Hynix on the Korean side. We have a good, I was telling you closer to 1 million. All right, we got there on SK Hynix. Yeah, I was bearish up here, but bearish play is over, guys. It's done. Made money, get out, be happy. It can still do pullbacks and retests, but most likely this is the bottom on Kospi also. We will come down, maybe do pullbacks, retest, support, and all of that stuff. It's already heading towards our zones. Done that, came back. That's pretty much what I was looking for. Samsung got to my zone, right? They all got to my zone that I was looking for on the bearish side. And until there was the bearish play. And now we are bouncing. Also, Samsung got above 240,000. That was a turnaround point. Yes, it can still do retests, come back, retests. But once we confirm a zone with such a strength, even everything becomes a retest until we lose a zone lower, which is far. They have gapped up so much already. That's far away. Definitely, I'll do a video later today when Kospi opens. We'll see the market there. But until then, like, there's already extra conviction and confluence building all around that how this will most likely be the bottom. Yes, things can slip, but probabilities right now are building up for the upside on memory and chip stock. And also, let me point out a fundamental fact. Memory and chip stocks are, depends. Well, let me separate it. Memory, let's first talk about that. Memory is no longer just your cyclical trade. If someone says cyclical trade, they're really not understanding the technology behind and how it's integrated in what the economy or society does. Okay. So Sandisk, Micron, memory stocks, SK Hynix, all that, Samsung and all, they will become, hardware is becoming a new software going forward. Okay. And they will become integral part of any operations that big players are doing. All right. Even if big players bought all the storage and all, AI is such an high intense heat system and operation. There is a lot of replacement required. A lot of, who knows, the next big thing would be recycling these memory components. Those companies would go up, right? Who knows? But this is going to become, going forward, an integral part of any technology ecosystem. Anyway, Sandisk. Sandisk is also, this came where it didn't go fully down there. It doesn't have to, because yes, we were bearish. But, and that's what it is. Either we get to the next zone of importance or we start to see a sign, right? And this is where we are seeing early signs of potential stabilization. Sandisk, even if it comes down, I don't think it has much room left to come down. It is most likely going to just stabilize here. Yes, I told you all of this. Take it as just a rebound and all. But this is where it's important that we may find a bounce on the bottom. So let's get to the hourly interval, what we have to see for this week. Well, as I gave you this zone, we want to stay above 1,130. If we lose that, it will no longer be a part of a rebound phase. It will be more like then we are waiting for a retest to stabilize or go down and from there bounce. So this can still take a while. Okay, it's not that everything is going to have to be bullish from tomorrow straight to the moon. It can be, but that's the whole point. What we have to watch for that and how we position ourselves for that and where the risk management has to be. So, and here, 1,130 as we hold, great. We want to see a comeback and close another day and break out above 1,300 area. That's what you are watching on Sandisk. Part of a good rebound And now as we do retests here, we want to see a stabilization and then a push through. Most likely we are approaching a bottom on Sandisk as well, on all memory stocks and all. SK Hynix, very same thing. SK Hynix, you will be better if you look at through the perspective of Korean SK Hynix. And what we saw on Friday on the US market, it come down. That's pretty much what I'm thinking may happen today on Kospi here. Nothing is guaranteed, but as if we come down, but that will most likely result in a retest and then a snapback, in my opinion. These are early stages of potential bottom. It may take a while. It may also fail, and that's where risk management comes in. But we have to still see where the probability is. All right, accordingly, that helps us to take our trades, place our bets, and risk manage where the risk management would be, right? So having said that, yes, SK Hynix saw a bit of a sell-off, but also like it also has a room to try to stabilize here and make its way higher slowly and slowly. Seagate among all is, I would say, is the strongest right now. And this is Seagate, as if it's not coming down, that's great. It already have its double bottom here with the break above 800, and above that this thing will remain strong. And I also think that even if it comes down, it's mostly gonna stay sideways at this point. Well, sure, it can slip lower, but that's where the risk management would be. But the point is that high probability in these price sections is that even if they get weaker, they're gonna mostly go sideways and then rest a little bit. Taking a look at the hourly interval, it is still fine, technically fully bullish actually, above 841 also, this significant level. Seagate is the strongest among all right now. Now, as I was on Sandisk, I forgot to tell you that there are earnings on Sandisk this week. So this week, yes, this week. So definitely keep an eye on it, right? So anyways, let's get to Nvidia. So Nvidia here is getting above 194, holding a strength, pushing through. Okay, great. I mean, this thing is so choppy that I'm still not playing it though. Anyways, the thing is that yes, it is in a bounce area. It is starting as some multi-day strength, but that would be it for now. You cannot go super bullish on this thing yet. That will be still above 204, but yes, this is a multi-day strength building up on this thing. Okay, so that's all what it is. We hold above 195. That's good. At least that's where multi-day strength is there. But for longevity strength, you again want to see it above 204 area. And which will be like extra confirmation. But then you want to still track the price action, not losing that, right? And that's where when the momentum is really troubling on a stock, it's better you don't trade that. You more look at it as, okay, and also it doesn't mean you just go long on that, but just make sure you know how much money, how long it will be locked up in that instrument for you, right? So, all right, AMD guys rejected closer to that 500 zone already, but at this point, let the earnings happen. They are on Tuesday, and at this point, I don't think until Tuesday it's going to do much, but yes, below 500, it is remaining in the technically a negative direction, negative structure. All right, you can also use a bit of a reference line, trend line here, but the point is that it is still remaining in the negative structure. That bounce is over, but it was not worth. As you know, I was shorting it. I made the money, but this was my full exit, 458. Shorting is not forever, okay? And with this, and it just was not worth it to hold the short again into the volatile, which was I was seeing that it's gonna shoot really through, and that's why I sized down first leg here, then the second leg here fully out. But yes, it's still overall bearish until 500, coming down from there. But at this point, it's, as I said, it's not worth it. Let the earnings happen. Even if it comes down, most likely the next big move is after the earnings. It will be like only if it gaps up above 500 and closes strong after earnings, then only there is a possibility of new highs. It's already so extended. I am not placing any bets this week on AMD, just so you know. And I think mostly until the earnings, it may mostly go within this range, in my opinion, until earnings, which is not far away right now. ARM, unfortunately, still remains in the negative direction. Nothing has changed on this, guys. It's still bearish, and it's nowhere closer to showing any signs how memory stocks are showing right now at the bottom. So TSM pushed up again at 420, rejecting a little bit, but I don't think TSM would have much downside. Again, earnings of different stocks this week may affect it, but if you take earnings away, right, of the Sandisk and AMD and all, this is where, like, I don't think it has much more downside here. It's mostly either gonna go sideways like that right now for coming days. I don't trade TSMC. This price action is more for a long-term bulls, very, very long-term bulls. And if you're a very, very long-term bull, well, you should have gotten size down, at least some of it, gotten out, taken profits. If you're a long-term bull, you still have time to not too worried and also not rush into it again, because it's just mostly gonna be a sideways thing. Intel unfortunately still remains bearish below $100, so nothing really changes, and this thing is still negative and still weak like ARM. Marvel is the one where I think it may find a bottom somewhere here at this point. And as if it doesn't have to straight shoot up like that, but most likely it may find a bottom here around 160 and may start to turn around slowly and slowly. And then let's take a look at Cerebras as well, guys. It's just not doing much, but it's technically in a trade to the upside for us. Stop loss has been below 160, but it's not doing much though. It's not moving much, but it's positioning yourself and letting the position do its thing. You know, you have your risk management, stop loss, and positioning, and let the price action do its thing. All right. Anyways, guys, so a big week again on the memory and the chip stocks. I am already preparing my portfolio, my DRAM portfolio. All right. And it's been 10 days already, and we are already green in the money. DRAM stock price has been, ETF price has been falling, but we are already green in my portfolio. Don't miss this opportunity out. If you are interested, check out the details in the description of this video. To have access to my DRAM portfolio, you just have to be on my Trading Tools Plus Stocks Coverage membership, and you will get DRAM portfolio for free. Limited time offer. The late you get, the more opportunity you're just gonna keep missing out. All right, you gotta make a choice for yourself. Do you wanna be a doer, or do you wanna be nothing in life? All right, I'm pretty sure you have other things ongoing, but my point is that, do you wanna, if you wanna get ahead, you wanna change situations in your life, you wanna learn, you wanna be a experienced trader, an experienced investor, an experienced money-making machine, then don't miss such opportunities. Choices are theirs. I'm just showing you that there are choices for you. So that's what I'm saying. Choices are there, but the decisions are yours. With that, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye.